Ertharin Cousin is the Executive Director for the UN World Food Programme. Thank you very much for joining us here on Al Jazeera, Ertharin. The refugee camp you're at, the Mangaizi camp, has more than 3,000 refugees from Mali, I understand. Why have they fled into Niger when there's a drought there? How desperate are the refugees you've spoken to?
The refugees that I've spoken to are very desperate. They came to a place that had as little as they did in Mali, but what they found here was safety. They left their homes in northern Mali. Told me today they heard gunshots at night. They were afraid for their children. They knew that they could come to Niger. We are appreciative of the Niger government because they have accepted the refugees here. I'm traveling today with my colleague, the High Commissioner for Refugees, Antonio Gutierrez, and he and I together have been talking to these refugees because it is so important that we meet their needs because they have suffered so much already.
What are conditions like at the camp that you're at?
Today, another busload came in. We're seeing busloads of refugees coming in every day, new refugees fleeing the challenges in northern Mali. You see behind me that there's nothing but desert here. There was a temporary camp set up because there was no expectation that the refugees would come here from northern Mali. But UNHCR, together with WFP, UNICEF, and others, are working to meet the needs of these refugees. So there's now tents coming in. We're bringing food in from the World Food Program, but this is a crisis that the global community must not ignore.
How is the UN trying to combat the massive malnutrition problem? Up to 1 million, or at least 1 million children are at risk of dying.
This is one situation where we had noticed that the harvest had failed because of lack of rains last year. So we are not even in the lean season yet. So WFP has begun to provide food through cash for work programs, food for work programs to the women in these areas to meet the needs of the families here. We are participating in and offering what we call blanket food distribution programs, ensuring that lactating women and children, particularly under 2 years of age, are receiving nutritional food from WFP. But we can only continue this program if the entire global community recognizes that now is the time to act.
Ertharin, thank you very much for speaking to us. Ertharin Cousin is Executive Director of the UN World Food Programme, speaking to us from Niger.